Good evening. How are we, folks? Welcome to tonight's stream. We are live with the next round of the Turn 7 Racing GT3 Endurance Championship here at Imola. What a race we do have for you tonight. Yes, tonight being the word. We are going into the darkness for the first time in the championship. So let's see how the drivers go with that as well. Tonight's session, the time on sim right now. Session right now is, why is it not showing up? Ah, because we're paused. That's why. Sorry, guys. Oh my God. Right, so the weather right now and the time is at 19:51, so we've got about 9 minutes till qualifying opens up in the championship. So we're looking forward to that. And yes, we've got around, I'm thinking... And I'm thinking it's going to be a very, very interesting race tonight. I'm just dealing with a couple of things in the background here just now, guys. Okay, let's swap. So let's go get into the last 9 minutes of, well, it'll be about 6 minutes now of the practice sessions, and see how the guys are getting on. A couple of new drivers in tonight as well. Robert Taylor, Bosher Williams is one as well. Keith Farron is ever absolutely flying around the track. He's doing really well in Imola. Sitting P5 in practice so far. As you can see, the darkness is already falling down, guys. It's already getting dark in the sim here at Imola. Gary Brown there as well in his BMW. It's a fairly even grid tonight as well, going car-wise. It seems like though the Ferraris and the BMWs are dominating over the Porsches in terms of the amount of drivers. I hope others were also on their quali sims. Captain Chaos says, good luck to everyone competing in tonight's race. Ah, right, I get you now, Captain Chaos. Evening, Radar. I got your message on Discord, buddy. Sorry to hear that. I hope you get it sorted for the next race. I'm not sure if we're actually racing next week or not. I can't remember the schedule off the top of my head. I think there's an endurance race next week. Imola Yeah, we're not racing again until the 15th of August, so it's a week off next week. So the next race will be August the 15th, and it'll be at Suzuka in the Grand Prix. Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. As I say, there's plenty of more races to come. We're not even halfway through yet. Plenty of more races to come, buddy. Robert Odom's there from the Year 1 Racing Team. Currently sitting in 14th with a 1:42.820 here at Imola. Going into the darkness. I'm really looking forward to see how this goes. Good evening, ecumenical mate. That's a big long name. How's it going? Hello, Stretch. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, buddy.
You all set for the race tonight? Stretch, I do know your Twitch, but if you PM me, mate, we've got an area where the bot auto posts when you go live, mate. So FYI, if you're a streamer, it's a community. Everyone gets shared around, so to speak. So yeah, guys, once the qualifying goes start, we will cut the radios off from the drivers, so we don't hear them during the race, in case there's any argy-bargy. Although it's been pretty good lately. I don't think any of the drivers have argued with each other at all, to be honest. It's been an absolute outstanding championship, really clean and competitive, and it's generally went off better than I ever thought it would, and I can't wait to bring you even more what we've got planned here at Turn 7 Racing. Without giving too much away, we have another 3 championships in the background being constructed right now, and another 1 coming in the pipeline. In case Farron is on the track, could you all go sideways in an instant? Yeah, mate, as I say, there's plenty of more championships. Stretch. Yeah, Stretch is Robert Taylor, who's currently in P2 with a 1:39.614. Car number treble 1. So, yeah, guys, as I say, we've got loads planned here. We've also got a Dirt Rally Championship that's just kicking off in Monday as well, which I think it's the first ever for Dirt Rally Championships. It's a team-based one. We thought we would give it a go trying out a team-based rally. Now, it was very difficult to come up with a way to actually work it, but we've managed to do it, and it's looking quite exciting as well. So again, Turn 7 Racing, we are a racing community full of sim racers that are like-minded and interested in the same thing and just want to have a laugh and competitive, clean, fun racing. So if it's something that you like the sound of and you want to join these drivers on track, put !Discord in the Twitch chat. If you're watching back on YouTube, just check down below in the description and you will find it there. Again, guys, there's only roughly around 30 seconds left of the practice session and we move into qualifying. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we go there. Let's just update the drivers and make sure we have everyone as people were still connecting there. So again, guys, what we will do is we'll show you the championship as it stands right now. And here it is in top in position on the in top position in the championship is Ed with 159 points. David Haas is no longer with us, unfortunately, so he will slowly drop down as the season goes on. Victor Suarez is technically in P2 with 123 points. Ander Gomez, Rice Saunders, Thomas Crump, Robert Odoms, Gregory Hof, Dion Wren, Paul Kerry, Matt Gibson, Nathan Saunders, Ben Cullen, Peter Elson, John Dobarts, Keith Farron, Stephen Jones, Maud Kiko, Carol Gray, Danny Prito. And from 20 onwards, it's Martin H.S. Jacobson, Dieter de Ridder, Jonas Greener, William Coffey, who's no longer in the championship either. Jesus Gonzalez, Ramis Greener, Simon Dodd, Andre Kerbel, Stephen McCafferty, Eric Hiley, Simon Hubbard, who's no longer in the championship either. Ian Erdman, Jonathan Rex, Thomas Thiel, Paul Clist, who's no longer in the championship either. These names, again, guys, will eventually be right down the bottom, the guys that are no longer with us. So that is the way it looks, and we are in qualifying mode, so let's get the qualifying mode shown up. As the drivers are currently out on their outlap, it will take a minute or two for the stats and stuff to come in. So what we will do is we'll just leave it in the most exciting right now, and we'll just let it do its thing, and as the times start coming in, we will then move on to look at some of the drivers. We'll jump on board, hopefully get a lap or two with the person that's in pole. Why is that not showing? There's no times being put in yet. Just while that updates and the guys do get their first laps in, I will be back in 2 minutes, guys. I'm just going to jump to the toilet. And I'll leave you with the action just now. Okay guys, I am back. Robert Taylor's in with an early, really good fast time of a 1:39.773 to take pole position. We're only 4 minutes into the 30 minutes of qualifying. Crump sitting on P2 right now with a 140.087. Jonathan Rex in P3 with a 140.927. Gregory Hove in P4 with a 141.205. Paul Carey in P5 with a 141.3. Dead. Bang on the button. Gonzalez sitting there in P6 right now, just coming out for his outlap for his second go at qualifying with a 141.748. Hakala there as well. I hope I'm pronouncing that race name correctly. I'm sure this is his first race with us as well, so we're looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's sitting in P7 right now with a 157.092. Gonzalez just takes a little spin there in the background at the bottom side of your screen there, guys. I just need to make sure that I am off the guy's radio. So that we don't get that anymore. No, that's us. Radio. So you should, Mr. Can't See Me. Being late. What's that all about? How you doing, Jork? I hope you're doing well, buddy. Welcome to tonight's race, guys. At Imola. It's going to be an interesting one. Oh, hi Cube Jam F1. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy the race. We are currently in the qualifying stage for the race, guys. For anyone that's just joining. Yes, he's doing well. Currently, he's sitting P1 with a 139.773. Some of the back marker guys there. Okay, guys, we're going to have a look. We're going to jump in the gentleman that's in pole position at Robert Taylor's car. And we'll look at it. We'll go for a lap with the guy who is in pole. Well, he's currently slowed down. Robert's brand new to the championship. He was saying to me via messages earlier on in Discord that he wishes that he found us sooner. But as I say, we're not even halfway through the championship yet. After this lap, we will jump in with Ed Kickstas. I really need to get to say that name properly. I know he tells me to call him Ed, so I'll call him Ed from now on. Number 21, Ed. So we'll make sure we get that right, as the Scottish lingo finds it quite difficult. Thomas Crump is on his outlap as well, so we'll probably jump in with him since he's sitting in P2 right now. Robert Taylor coming up to finish his lap. I think he's down in the last 3 sectors from his fastest lap so far. And there he goes, a 1:39.732. He was actually 0.041 faster than his fastest lap. So let's jump in with Thomas Crump as he's out on his outlap right now. We'll try and get right through the full driver list, guys, and try and watch them all as the qualifying go and spend a lap with each driver. Can't see me. As people are leaving, like one leaves, we get 5 in. So there's literally 3 spaces left, if you're lucky. And it's remained that way pretty much since the season started. So there's 3 spaces remaining. Someone's went off track there in front of Thomas. So this is Thomas's hot lap. We'll stay with him on this one. Oh, and he got an off track there. That probably won't, that lap time won't count. Next up, we'll jump in with Paul Carey. He's P4. Ed isn't out on track just yet. Really attacking those curbs in the BMW there. This is a qualifying session. We are 13 minutes in. 14 minutes remaining. Sorry, 16 minutes remaining. Ed's just currently went out on his outlap, so we'll jump in with Paul Carey as soon as we cross the line here. Whoa, and we jump in with Paul Carey and he has a smash. Let's have a little look at that. Someone that stopped there, I wonder who that was. Bring up the relatives. I have no idea who that was in the red Ferrari there. Let's jump in with Ed. What happened for you to get your black flag? Buddy? Yeah, I see you there. Right, okay, I'll remove it now. That's you, buddy, you're good to go. So we're currently on board with Ed here as he's going round, getting... He's currently sitting P4 with a 140.322. Car in front, just losing the back end slightly there, but it was a really nice holding on to it there. And we'll jump on board with Jesus Perez Gonzalez, who's sitting P6 right now. Jonathan Rex. Let's see what time Jonathan gets here. A 142.2. Oh, it was a 141, sorry, 0.2. So it's slower than his fastest lap so far. Jump on board here with Carol Grace. A little bit of off tracks going on up there. That was John Dobart's off track there at the right hand side. So we're on board here with Carol Gray from the Year 1 Endurance team and the Ferrari. Carol's been doing pretty well on the races as of late. He's gave up on that lap, so we'll jump to the guy who's in 9th position, Ander Gomez, who's currently on his out lap. So we'll jump in with him right now. This is Ander Gomez. As he comes up, Sebastian Boscher comes in with a 1:39.705 to take pole position number 23. What a time there. Really close between him and Taylor in second place. Can Taylor straight back out. He's on the pit exit right now to try and go and beat that time to take pole position. Along with Ed there as well is on the pit exit. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Saturday night here, and it's Turn 7 Racing GTE Endurance Championship night. Next week we are off. There is no race next week. We will be back on the 15th for our next instalment. I think it's due to an official iRacing Endurance series next weekend. This looks like a really tidy, smooth lap here from Gomez. He's driving really well on this lap. Yep, he's coming up to produce probably his own fastest lap. And he crosses the line with a 140.4 and takes 5th position. What a jump from where he was there. Outstanding drive there from Ander Gomez. Let's jump back to where we were. None of these guys are out. All right then. Ooh, someone just sliding off there at the back behind them. So there's Boscher out. We haven't actually done a lap with Boscher, so what we will do is we'll let him get halfway around his out lap and we'll jump on board with Boscher and see how he gets on. We've pretty much done everyone else that has been out. I think Keith is doing his normal and skipping qualifying and just jumping into the race. So let's jump on board with Sebastian Boscher. I think this is his first race as well with Turn 7 Racing GT3 Championship. So it'll be exciting to see how he does as well, along with one of his teammates, Robert Taylor, there in P2. So we'll jump on board with Sebastian. Oh, as he's coming to the end of his out lap, getting ready for his flying lap. So here we go on the... Oh, Robert Taylor just came in and bet Boscher's time there with a 1:39.6. Really competitive up here at the top. The times are really close as well, which only means one thing. It's going to be an absolute outstanding race. As you can see, the sun is setting in the background here at Imola. Be exciting to see what sort of time Boscher puts in here. Don't forget, guys, that you can keep shouting on your favourite drivers on the stream live. I know the drivers do watch these back both on Twitch and the YouTube channel, which we have caught up with now. All previous races are now on our official YouTube channel. It's Turn 7 Racing. If you're enjoying what you see, guys, Boscher just put in, and he just takes pole again. Boscher and Taylor really fighting it out here for pole position with a 1:39.313. What an absolute stonker of a time there, guys. This is really, really, really competitive. One of the back marker racing team. Flying in there with a super fast time. I actually thought that Sebastian was a teammate of Robert's, but there you go. It's not until you jump out and you actually have a look at the car that you see that they're not. So yeah, that's me. I stand corrected there, guys. So Boscher Williams taking pole position with a 1:39.313. There's only 5 minutes left of qualifying, and as it stands so far, Boscher Williams in P1, Taylor in P2, Ed in P3, Crump in P4, Gomez P5, Kerry in P6, Gonzalez in P7, Rex in P8, Carol Gray in P9, Gibson on P10, Hove on P11, Dobart on P12, Hakala on 13th, Prito on 14th, Robert Odom's there on P15, and Fierro on P16. Radar shouting on Hakala and Taylor. So it's Hakala and Taylor that are teammates, is that correct then, Radar? And obviously yourself as well. Don't forget to PM me your team names, guys, and I will update them for the championship standings and stuff. So yeah, don't forget to do that. If you're a part of an endurance team, feel free to do so. Oh, you and Hakala? Ah, right, okay. I get you. Which one are you again, Captain Chaos? Sorry. It's quite hard to distinguish people from their Twitch names. Number 23. Oh, you're Mr. Boscher Williams. I don't think you can either, man. That's a lightning speed time there. Absolutely outstanding. Well done on that. Robert is out right now, trying his hardest to catch you on that one. We're currently with Robert Taylor right now. And we'll stay with him as he finishes this lap. He is going fast. Oh, and he just... Oh, he manages it with a 139.283. What a battle here for pole position. Oh, if the battles for the top spot on the grid are as good as the actual race is going to be, I'm looking forward to this race. What a time there from Robert Taylor to take pole position off Boscher Williams there. Outstanding. This is going to make one hell of an exciting race, guys. And the qualifying has got less than a minute left. I don't think there's anyone left. Oh, there is. Thomas Crump is out on track. So is Ander Gomez. Most of the guys are in the pit lane and happy with their times. Yeah, Stretch. That was exhausting. It was exhausting to watch. Well done on that time, mate. What a battle between you and Boscher there for pole position. Absolutely outstanding, man. If that's what the qualifying is going to be like, then I'm looking forward to seeing what the race is going to be like. Yeah, it's been absolute back and forth. And the qualifying is over, guys, here for the Turn 7 Racing GTE Endurance Championship Round 5 at Imola. Whoa. No idea what that was about, but there you go. And as we have a little look at the race info and the weather, as you can see, guys, it's coming up in 8:30, well, 25 to 9 sometime here at Imola. So the darkness will be falling very, very shortly, which will make for an exciting race. I have absolutely no idea how it's going to look on the live stream. But yeah, let's hope it stays clear and we can make everything out. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, guys. Round 5 at Imola. We're live on Twitch TV, Turn 7 Racing. It's the full track here in Italy, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. The track length is 3.02 miles. So when you put that into perspective with the times that you know, the guys have actually been getting here for on this track particularly, the guys are absolutely flying, and the track temperatures are really low tonight as well, with only 79 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really, really grippy. There's plenty of rubber on the track now as well. What you've got to remember is the guys have now been running on the track for an hour and a half, so there's plenty of rubber, so it's going to make for a really fast pace race. The track doesn't get cleaned in between times, it's just the way it is. So good luck, guys, to everyone in the race, and we will go over and speak to them now. Good luck in the race, guys. Remember, lap 1, cold tyres and stuff. Just give each other plenty of room and have a good one and enjoy the race. And remember, the flashing of lights is prohibited unless you are going to be lapping the car in front of you. Thanks. Enjoy the race. So the guys are going to be start to grid now as we wait on the grid results coming through. They've not quite came through yet. And here we are. In pole position is Robert Taylor, and P2 is Sebastian, and P3 is Ed, P4 Crump, P5 Gomez, P6 Kerry, P7 Gonzalez, P8 Rex, P9 Carol Gray, P10 Gibson, P11 Hove, P12 Dobarts, P13 Hakala, P14 Danny Prito, P15 Robert Odoms, P16 Fierro, and Keith Farron there on P17, who didn't actually put in a time. And that concludes the grid here for the Turn 7 GTE Endurance Championship Round 5 at Imola. We are going to go into the darkness tonight, guys, so let's see how that goes. And here we go for the short parade lap here at Imola. And the lights are green. Matt Gibson has passed Jesus Perales. So there's a bit of juggling about in the positions that go in right now. Thomas Crump takes P3, Ed takes it back. So there's a bit of battle going on right there. Oh, the little off track there from Ed. Gomez just in the background there. P3 takes it from the BMW Crump. Taylor and Bosch and Williams slowly gaining a lead already, and we're not even finished lap 1. That'll be due to the battles that Gomez and Crump and Ed was having there. A really good start to the race. Carol Gray has had a crash though. We'll quickly go back and have a little look at that. Carol Gray as the green and pinkish car there. Nothing to see there. I don't really get what that was all about. He didn't have a crash at all. He's perfectly fine. Currently with Paul Carey in P7. Gregory Hove ramping over the Kibs there. Oh, sorry, that was Gonzalez there. Really clean start to the race here, guys. Absolutely outstanding. Not even one incident so far. Yes, it sounds like it, Jock. I think the latest update on the app that I'm using, mate, is even like an off track is counting as a crash, and it's really not. Like, I'm not sure if you remember in Imola last week, and off tracks at the hairpin were causing chaos. So as we're looking at Kerry right now, let's zoom out a little bit and get a better view of the action here. The guys will be really urgent to get their positions ready before the darkness comes in. They'll be hoping that the race does open up. We're expecting it to be absolutely pitch black for around the last 40 minutes of the race. Like roughly halfway through, we'll start seeing it really getting dark here, guys. And I think that's when things might turn a little bit interesting.
A new following.
Just become best friends, yep.
Thank you very much for the follow there, Afro Mike Gaming Racing, sorry. Let's jump down and see how Sebastian and Robert Taylor are getting on here, although the fights are here at the mid-pack right now. Let's jump down and see how our leaders are getting on. Sebastian followed very closely there by Robert Taylor. He's only 1 second behind him so far, but Boscher is absolutely flying here. Although Taylor has had the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's just change that to the gap so that you guys can see roughly how far everyone is away on the tower as well as on the battle box down the bottom right hand side. We'll have a little look at the top speed so far as well. Boscher's top speed is 167, which is 1 miles per hour faster than Taylor so far. So yeah, there we go. Nothing's happened to Keith. He had a little off track. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go and have a look, see what happened. That's what happened. John Dobarts, there was nothing that he could have done there. He was braking, he was holding his brakes. It's a racing incident. That was really unfortunate there for Keith. So Keith is struggling back to the pits. I don't think this starting from the back of the pack is working for Keith right now. It's not always the best option. But Keith, being Keith, will fight his way back. He always does. The thing about Keith, and I've driven with Keith, he's part of the Turn 7 Racing Endurance team. He likes a challenge. Keith loves a challenge. And he's a really solid driver as well. Really solid driver. And Hakala is past Danny Prito for P12. Let's have a quick look at that on the replay, guys. That was a nice clean overtake there. Carol Gray's past Dobarts for P15 as well. Let's have a look at that. And Gonzalez is past Paul Kerry there for P8 as well. Nice up the inside there. Round. Oh, yeah, what an interesting overtake there. Really well done. So there's 1.5 seconds splitting the leader right now. Thomas Crump, who's in P3, is currently 10 seconds behind the leader. And around 8 or 9 seconds behind P2. Ed trying to battle his way up through the park. Really flying up the straight there. The BMW of Thomas Crump just pulling away slightly from him there on the straights. Dobarts is in the pits as well right now. Joe Ferrio just had a crash there. Let's have a quick look at that. One of our other new drivers from California. Yep, just a little off track. A little spin on the grass there. No damage. $20 minutes repair for that, Keith. Fucking hell, mate. You should have qualified, mate. You'd have been top 10 anyway. So you would have. I don't know. I don't know why you didn't qualify. That's my view on it. I know you don't like to qualify, but sometimes you're better off. And saying that, it was an accident. Like the guy, like he went off track, and there were nothing really he could have done. He bounced off the barrier and went on the track. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he quite held his brakes. I will have a look at it after the race, but as it stands now, mate, it's like it looked like if he couldn't really do anything about it. He was on the grass, and the grass is like ice on here, so so as the action and the night unfolds here at a Turn 7 Racing GT3 Championship in Imola, we're currently with Ed as he's battling for P3. We're looking backwards here to Ed from Crump's car right now as they battle it out for that P3 spot. I thought he was going to try and go up the inside there of Crump. Some really good action here. Oh shit, wrong button. As you can see, the speed difference here from the guys up in the left-hand corner right now on the tree. And the last lap time's coming in now as well. This is an epic battle going on right now for P3 between Ed and Crump. It's really exciting here to watch this unfold. And Robert Taylor is looking like if he's catching Sebastian right now. Very slowly but surely. Looking at the gap and the time going around the track there. Ed's making the move on to Crump there. Can he make it up the inside? What a move. Has he made it? Can he hold on? No, he's slowed down. He's give it back. What a move there. What a try there. And obviously the off track there from Crump would only have slowed him down a little in the battle as well, was caused Gomez to catch up with Ed and Crump as well. It's really getting exciting here between P3, P4 and P5. Let's keep an eye on this right now. Carol Gray is currently coming back out on track. What an exciting battle here. It really is. It's all happening here for P3 and P4. Two Ferraris and one BMW writing the story here at Imola right now. As darkness is set to fall here for the Turn 7 Racing GTE Endurance Championship Round 5. Ed's going to make the move again. I can feel it. Is it going to happen? Not this one. Let's have a look from the camera view of the back window of Thomas Crump right now. As they are battling it through. You can see the battle there between Kuskus and the Gomez behind. As well as Ed trying to catch Crump as we go around the Imola track. Coming up to the back straight. Crump has got some pace on the straights here, getting out of the corners as well. He's really doing well. As he come up to the second last corner and going on to the start finish, a line is straight right now. Thomas Crump currently in P3 with this exciting battle here for these positions. Ed being his usual patient self, waiting on that opportunity, waiting on a mistake from Crump, staying really close to him. You can see just how close they are there, down in the bottom right-hand corner. 0.5 seconds, just half a second splitting the two of them up. Gomez has fell back to almost a second behind. As the Ferrari dominates through the curbs there. One of the bonus points of driving one of the Ferraris. Can really handle those curbs. Crump just going out a little wide there, just touching the grass and no more. But still keeping his pace, going up the start-finish line straight. Coming up behind Friero. Who's currently 1 lap down. Is Fierro going to hold the pack up slightly here? And let's have a little look at the gap up there in the top left-hand corner. Or the bottom right. As they're going round him, yes, he gives way to them. Fierro gives way and lets the race continue. I really don't want to leave this action just now. I do want to go and see how Sebastian and Robert are getting on. But the action right now here is really intense between Ed and Crump there for P3. Hakala has passed Odoms for P11, by the way, guys. Let's have a look at this as Ed tries to make the move. He's putting him under pressure here. Ed's playing a very, very strategic game here with Crump. He's putting him under a little bit of pressure every now and again, just poking his nose in and out. hoping that Crump makes a mistake. But Crump's been pretty solid so far, and he's holding that position really well. P8 and P10 are really close with each other as well, within a second. We'll jump down and see how that's going on. And here it is here. Oh, Gomez, Mark Gibson to making the move. To pass Fierro is just lapping the car, sorry. But with Ed in the front pack. We'll go quickly and have a look at P8, Jonathan Rex right now. As they are also having a little battle back there as well. P5 here. How are you doing, Kim? Welcome to the stream. Rex going up the inside of Fierro there just to take that lapping position there. Let's get back with the front pack here as the battle for P3 continues with Ed and Crump and Gomez and P5. You're bold? Ed's currently... Oh, he's going to make the move. I thought he was going to take it there up the inside of Crump. Crump is making small mistakes now. Ed's persistence is paying off here for Crump as he goes off track again at the second to last corner. Ah, I see. You're in the pits getting fixed, is that what it is? Carol Gray has passed Fierro for P14. And Joe Fierro passed him again for P14. Let's have a little look at that action here and leave Ed and that behind. Oh. Right, okay. Nothing to see there. If you want to join these guys on the track, feel free to do so. All you have to do, ! Discord in the chat and join our Discord and let us know that you are here for the GT3 Championship and the Your Choices channel. There is currently about 3 to 4 spaces left. Let's have a little look at the sim time right now as we are heading into That's 30 minutes of the race going into the past. It's also quite cloudy here, sorry, at Imola, so the darkness should fall a little bit earlier than expected. Humidity 48%, 78 degrees Fahrenheit on the track, and it's 9:14 in sim time. So we expect roughly about 30 minutes time it will be in complete darkness. Keith Farron has left the pits and rejoined the race, which is good to see. However, he is 15 laps down right now. Let's hope he can recoup some of that. Remember, guys, oh, Ed just takes a spin there. Let's go back to that. Let's go back and have a look at that. Why did we move from that there? As he was trying to make the move there on Crump, he takes a little spin there on the second to last turn. He just locks up. He's completely fine though. He did continue to go on, but he's lost P3 and went to P4. Really unfortunate there for Ed, but no doubt he will fight his way back. He does have some pace. Paul Kerry overtaken there. Hakala is currently in the pits as well right now. He's going for an early pit stop by the looks of it. Can't see any other reason why he would be in the pits right now. Gregory Hove is passed to Paul Kerry there for P9. And we are with the leaders. There's only half a second splitting these two guys right now, so let's stay with these as they go around into the start-finish line. Robert Taylor and Bosch are battling it out now because they are really close. As you can see here, the lap time difference between Boschert and Taylor there behind him. Taylor has been faster over the last two laps by almost half a second. The Ferrari eating up the kibs there, of the Ferrari of Bosch are eating up the kibs there. As we are on the roof view of Robert Taylor, number 111, who's in second place right now and currently only half a second behind Bosch and currently catching him as well. You can see just how dark it's starting to get here at Imola. It's going to make for an interesting race. Very much so. Bosch are one of the back marker endurance team drivers. Absolutely flying here at Imola right now. But the gap is really getting close now. It's well within half a second. Porsche versus Ferrari here. Oh, Taylor trying to make the move up the inside there. He's really up behind. Well, let's have a look at this view again. It seems as though the Ferrari is really eating the curbs here, and that's where the advantage is coming from Bosch. Going through that chicane there. As we go into the last two turns here of Imola. 36 minutes into the race. Going up the start-finish line. Let's see how much Robert Taylor can actually catch Bosch in here, because I actually feel like if the Porsche is slightly faster on the straights than it is anywhere else on the track here. Seems to be the curb sections that Bosch seems to be pulling away from him. As you can see, Robert's really playing a strategic game here as well. Staying off the curbs so that it doesn't upset the balance of the car. Which in turn is keeping his pace up as we go around to the back quarter of the track. This is where he caught him the last time. He's just fell back slightly there. We will go back into the close quarters cameras again once they do get closer. Afro Mike racing there, shouting out on Seb. I'm assuming that's Bosch, correct? Oh, there's a battle here from between P8 and P9 here. Jonathan Rex and Gregory Hove. Not much splitting between the two leaders there. As you can see, the lap times coming in, a 141.2 and a 141.5. Only 0.2 seconds, sorry, 0.3 seconds in between them. Gregory Hove poking his nose up the inside there of Jonathan Rex. Really close racing here between these two guys. Hove going up the outside. Can he make the move in time before the corner? Neck and neck almost. It's all down to the braking point here, and Hove is currently, oh, a little bit of door-to-door contact there. And Hove actually takes the position. We'll have another look at that right now, guys. Let's have another look at that pass. As they go in to the last corner there. I think, to be honest, there wasn't really much in that for anything to be said about. It was a clean move at the start. There was room there. I think it was, yeah, definitely a racing incident there. Let's jump back up with the leaders and see how they're getting on. Oh, wait a minute here. Prito is currently challenging Odoms. Gibson coming up behind Hakala. Prito Prito. Dobart, sorry. Trying to unlap himself here with Prito. Robert Taylor had an off track. Let's see what happened there, because it's caused him to drop 2 seconds behind. There it is. But he is catching him again. And the race leader just overtaken Prito there. Followed shortly by Robert there. Danny Prito, one of our long-standing drivers here in the GT3 Championship, always fights really hard for his positions. Starting to become a really solid driver here in the GT3 Championship. As the race is opening up really wide here. 42 minutes in, and then the darkness is falling. Jonathan Rex is currently in the pits. He did have a crash as well, so we will really need to check that out. Jonathan Rex of Turn 4 Motorsports goes off track. Does the exact same as what happened at the start of the race there with Keith Farron. And I can't remember who the other driver was, but done the exact same move anyway. Bounces off that barrier. A flash of the lights there from the driver in front. No idea why. Well, back with the leader and P2. Sebastian Boscher-Williams leading the race right from the very start so far. But a few close calls, right enough, with Taylor behind. And Taylor is catching him again. It's roughly 1.5 seconds behind him. Are you guys enjoying the race here tonight? As we're halfway through, that's us halfway through the race, guys. And the darkness really is falling here at Imola for round 5 of the GT3 Endurance Championship. Currently alongside Gregory Hofe here. And Robert Odoms. Keith Farron just done a 144.026. He's currently running around, what, a second and a half off the leader's lap times, but he's still doing well to be still up here and in the race. One of the qualities of Keith Farron is he never gives up. If he has a crash, it doesn't really bother him. He just gets on with it, goes again. Oh, Boscher has went off track. Taylor has took P1. The mistake has been made. Let's have another look at that. Let's just rewind it back a little bit further there till we see what happened. He went for the pass and really couldn't get over the track and couldn't slow down enough and touch the grass, and that's what made him lose it and go off. And Taylor did take that position onto P1. Robert Taylor has taken P1. Let's just have another quick look. Now let's get back with the live action. It's mistakes like that that can make or break a race in any race, never mind the Turn 7 Racing GT Endurance Championship as we cross over halfway through the race tonight on your Saturday night. It's the first day of the month of August. And we're picking up the pace here as the darkness falls, and Imola with a brand spanking new leader. Halfway through the race is Robert Taylor. His first race here in the GT3 Championship. Ed's really never found that pace again since he's off track. He's still 5 seconds behind Gomez there. Crump is really just on a different planet right now as well. He's keeping his pace up really well. Currently the action is right here at the front of the park between Robert Taylor and Boscher there on P2. Matt Gibson's just had a crash. Let's quickly go and have a look at that. Yep, it's just a spin there in the darkness. Probably something to do with the fact it's the big man up the stair put the lights out. So what we will do right now, guys, since it's starting to get dark, is we will go to the most. We'll start focusing on like camera views that really show the cars and where they are on the track. We'll try and keep them as close as possible so that you can see who it is. Although the numbers and stuff do glow up, so please bear that in mind. And obviously you've got the notification down the left hand side there to keep in tow and who you're watching as well. Boscher is really pushing now to try and catch up that time that he lost. He's just under 2 seconds behind Robert Taylor there in P1 here at Imola. The race has been absolutely everything I thought it would be and more tonight here. Saturday night here at Turn 7 Racing GTE Endurance Championship. And Danny Prito's a bit far behind to be flashing for that pass. In my head anyway. Boscher is slowly catching Taylor though. More so at these chicanes. The Ferrari is just phenomenal going over those curbs. As you can see there, the gap is really closing in there. You can just keep the pace up a little bit more than the Porsche. The Porsche really doesn't like the curbs at all. Strangely though, the Porsche is really good round the Nürburgring, which is coming up on the championship. I know it's a special event as well. The race will be over 2 hours long, and I can't wait for it. It's one of the ones that I'm looking forward most to. It does start a little earlier than normal, guys, obviously because of the duration of the race, and it is coming up really soon, so keep your eyes out for that. Put it this way, it's only 3 races away. There's Suzuka, there's Spa, and then there's the Nürburgring. So it's only 3 races away, and it comes before the end of this month. So there you go, guys. We've got an absolutely outstanding month of racing for you this month, and next month as well. We've also got a Sebring special, which is a 120-minute race at Sebring. We've also got Le Mans, which is the full 24-hour track. We've got Road America, we've got Road Atlanta, and we've got Bathurst to end the season. So there's still loads of races coming up here at Turn 7 Racing for the GTE Endurance Championship. If it's something you want to be part of, feel free to hit that exclamation mark Discord and join up. That's how simple it is. I hope to see you guys on the track. We do seek really active drivers though. As you can tell, there's not as many on tonight as what's been on in the past. Crump just having a little lock up there behind Keith Farron, as he's coming up behind Keith there to is it Lapham probably? Yeah, it's definitely a Lapham. Robert Taylor has entered the pits. Robert Taylor has entered the pits. So that's P1, who's now moved into P2. He's took a slightly earlier pit stop. 3 wide here. No, it's not. I thought that was 3 wide there. Oh my God, I thought that was 3 wide. It looked like 3 wide. I wish you were here as well, mate. Next time you'll be here. 58 seconds, Taylor was in the pits. So, is it really going to come down here to the pit stops and what actually happens in there? Because that was 58 seconds. That's the full pit stop. That's for the pit entrance to the pit exit. Gomez is still in the pits as well here. Who's in P8? He's now out of the pits. The pit stops are starting to happen here now. So Robert Taylor has took an early pit stop compared to the leader here, Boscher Williams. Will this pay off for him? That's something that we'll need to wait and see here. As we're with Prito here in P11 right now. Keith Farron following up closely behind him, trying to unlap himself. Keith Farron is last season's champion, by the way, guys, just in case you never knew. He bases his races quite a lot on strategy. He likes to start from the back and fight his way through. It's a points game with Keith more than anything else. And his strategy actually paid off last season and won him the whole championship. The thing is with the GTE championships, or any championship that you enter, you've got to be in the races in order to win the championship. We do have a Hall of Fame, so anyone that wins any championships do enter the Hall of Fame, and they get an exclusive role, and you know, they get really credited for it. So it really pays off to be at every race. We don't charge entry fees to our races or anything like that at all, whereas a lot of other people actually do. We don't. We just credit the drivers for taking part. So all the pit stops are starting to happen right now as well here. Boscher is still out though. He is still going strong. Be interesting to see when he makes his pit stop. Oh, he's entered the pit lane right now. Let's jump up there right now and watch Robert Taylor as he goes through. We'll jump inside. We'll jump inside of the car. And we'll see just how close he is to passing Boscher. Bearing in mind, Boscher is still in the pit lane. He's 30 seconds in, if I can remember correctly as well. That Taylor's pit time was around the 59 seconds mark. He's still in there. Is Taylor going to take P1 here? Boscher's at 52, 53. It's counting it up if you look down below Robert Taylor's name there in the bottom left-hand corner. Yes, Robert's taken P1 again. And he's currently 2.5, almost 3, coming up to 4 seconds in front, 3.5, 4 seconds. Boscher Williams is now out the pits. He was in there for over a minute. So it was a really interesting pit stop there, guys. And we'll stay a lap here with your leader. It's not quite fully dark yet. Robert just giving the car in front a little flash, letting him know that he's about to be lapped. Mr. Fierro there. Oh, Robert just slight, not sure if that was snap oversteer or not there, but it was a little bit of something. There should be a few position changes here as we're going through. Ed is past Ander Gomez there. Ed's currently running in P6. Crump P5. Gonzalez P4. Paul Carey P3. But Paul Carey and Gonzalez is currently in the pits. They've just entered the pit lane. So I would imagine that Ed and Gomez will move back up those positions. Yes, they do. Keith's been back out on the track for a long, long time. Can't see me. I've mentioned them about 14 times. Ah, I get you. I feel you, brother. I feel you. So we're currently with the race leader, Mr. Taylor here. Number treble 1. Bosch are just taking Fierro up the inside there as they go around for a lap 37. Just over 25 minutes left of the race. Sorry, that's wrong. Yeah, sorry, it is right. 25 minutes left of the race, guys. My apologies. Car number 27 there, Mr. Gibson. Having a good race this week again. Currently sitting in the top 10 in P8 right now. Bosch Williams is currently 2 seconds behind P1 Robert Taylor. Thomas Crump 38 seconds behind the leader. Ed currently 42 seconds behind the leader. Gregory Hove 1 minute and 10. Gonzalez 1 minute 11. Paul Kerry 1 minute 12. Gibson 1 minute 37. Almost a lap down. The top 3-4 guys have got unbelievable pace here this weekend. Really unbelievable pace. Oh, sugar. Press the wrong button again. This doesn't normally happen, guys. Mad Gibson firing up to the... P1 and P2 currently just behind Matt Gibson right now. Not too far behind him anyway. Keith's pulled over to let them through. Gibson's moved up 2 positions from his starting position. Keith has moved up 1. Gonzalez 1 and Hove up 6 positions from their starting position. So Gregory Hove is having a really good race here tonight as well as Gibson as well, that we're currently viewing right now as he comes over the chicanes. Coming down to the last 2 corners of lap 40. Taylor flies up the outside there, absolutely flying. I'm not sure if you've seen that there, that was stupidly quick, went past Gibson there. Or was it Gibson? I can't even remember who it was that quick. That was ridiculous, man. So we're coming up into the last 20 minutes of the race where it should actually be pretty fucking dark now. Excuse my language. Let's just jump in with the leader. Right in, he's caught a bit of view and actually see just how dark it is. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, as you can see in front of him right now, the sky is getting pretty dark. One of my favourite views, this, of the cars. We'll go a full lap here with the leader, as he's staying at currently the same pace in front of Boscher, who's behind. Oh, wait a minute, Boscher has caught up a few tenths there in the last couple of corners. But Taylor did get a good exit out of the last corner and going up the start finish is straight. Well, it's not really a straight, it's a constant corner to the right. As you can see, he's catching up with Paul Kerry up there in front to lap him. Night driving on iRacing and Imola, because there's absolutely zero track lights, is one of the most difficult things ever, because it's almost like it's hard to compare it to any other track, to be quite honest. If you've ever done a 24-hour race in iRacing, you'll know what I'm talking about. Imola is one of those tracks that never really get raced in the dark. So no one really practices in the dark at all. But here at Turn 7 Racing GT Endurance Championship, we like to make things a little bit different, a little bit tricky on the drivers, give them something new to do, something fresh. And this is why it was a late night session here for this track. Mika Hakkila has passed Robert Odoms for P9, by the way, guys, just FYI. Just a few seconds ago. As we come up to the start-finish line straight, we'll jump back to the car of Sebastian Boscher and we'll do a lap with him as he chases Taylor in front. And the Ferrari, and then we'll jump back and do one with Thomas Crump behind, and we'll do it with the top 4 drivers as they're still on the lead lap, and then we'll go back out and have a view from the other cameras, guys. It's always good to see what it's like from a driver's point of view. Ooh, Boscher just going out wide there a little. Did he scrub a little speed? No, he didn't. Yeah, a little he did. He lost a couple of tenths of a second there doing that, but nothing to worry about. He's catching the drift of the. Maybe he's not. He's just gonna go flying by. Kerry just pulled over and let him by. Yeah, mate. Your teammates are doing well. Really, really well, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing you racing next time around as well. It should be a busier race. I'm not sure why this one wasn't as busy as the other ones. We average normally around 20 odd drivers, and for this one we're down below 20 for the first time ever. So I'm not sure why. It must be because it was going into darkness, but people will just need to get used to it. We'll put on extra practice sessions for the dark races. That's what we're here for. Maybe they just didn't have the track, I don't know. But it's one of these tracks, Imola, that's used quite a lot in official series of iRacing. You're a bit like me then, mate. I'm nothing special either. I just enjoy racing. I enjoy the community side of it. Like, iRacing's got one of the best communities I've ever came across. So we'll jump on board here with Thomas Crump as he goes off track. There he comes up the start-finish line straight as he picks up probably 1x there. We'll do a little lap with Thomas Crump here. As we're coming into the last 15 minutes of the race, we'll try and get a little glimpse of everyone, but more so the top 5. Thomas coming up there behind Fierro. Not really anywhere. Fierro, yep, Fierro does well and moves out of the way of Crump. Wasn't something he had to really do there in an emergency. Kuskis right tight behind now with 1.5 seconds. Kuskis is within a second now after that chicane. The Ferrari pulling through. We'll jump back behind with Kuskis for the next lap. But it's really closing in on Crump here. Again, he's caught up some serious time. So as we come up to the start-finish line straight, we will jump back in the car of Ed. And we will spend a lap here with Ed. Boscher is now coming up to within a second of the leader, Taylor, as well. Something we really need to keep an eye on in the last closing laps of the race. We are, what, 44 laps into the race now. I think by the end of the race it'll be kicking on 50 anyway. Ed is really pressuring Crump here. Crump going wide again, probably picking up another off track there. Gonzalez has passed Hove for P5. We will have a look at that right now. Just give us a little second to see what happens here with Ed and Crump. And then we'll jump back and have a look at that overtake of Gonzalez and Hove. Ed keeping his composure here, going round the last turn. Gets a good exit out of the last turn. Can he take the slipstream here of Crump? Can he make the move coming into the first turn 1? Has he made it a little bit early? Is it around the outside? Crump defending well on the inside. Oh, really good defense there by Crump. Really good defense actually. And really clean racing as well. Let's jump and have a look at that pass between Gonzalez and Gregory Hove there. Just after this corner, I'm scared to leave these guys. Right, let's jump in and have a look. What a nice pass that was. A really tidy pass there. Let's just have another look at it again. Right up the inside. We love to see the inside. We'll jump back with Ed. We'll go live. Boscher is 1.5 seconds down from Taylor, who's leading the race right now. Ed is currently right within striking distance of Crump as we are in the darkness here. We'll jump back inside view. It's a lot better for you guys to see what's happening. I will keep you updated in any passes or any drama anywhere else on the track, but right now we are staying with the battle who is between P4 and P3, Ed and Crump. Crump just scrubbing a little speed off there going through that turn. Ed backs off a little. But as he gets a good exit out of this corner, he is catching him right now. And he's coming up to the section where a Ferrari is naturally faster because of the curbs. Is this where he can make up the time and actually make the move on the second to last turn? As you can see how much quicker the Ferrari is through there. He caught up almost half a second there just with that one turn. Coming up to the second of the last corner. Crump under pressure. Going slightly wide again, Crump still staying on track. Crump getting a really good exit there and pulls away from Ed again. Carol Gray so far is the only one that's pulled, sorry, Carol Gray and Gomez is the only one that's pulled out the race. According to our stats, we will see John Dobarts is out the race. He's in the pit lane. Let's have a look at this. Just having a look right now. Under Gomez, no, he's still on track. Why does it say out? And Carol Gray as well, it also says out. No idea why it says that on there. So please don't take that as gospel. That is not what's happening. What is actually happening is everyone is still in the race and still going strong. Dobarts is the only one that's in the pit lane right now and he's 24 laps down. Boscher is now dropped down to 2.5 seconds. Let's see what happened there actually. He actually went off track. We'll go and have a look at that. He was close to, yep, he's off track there. And it cost him some time. He was catching Taylor for a bit, but he did go off track and it cost him some time. So we're currently in the car with Crump. Let's just have a look behind him there, actually. That's Ed right behind Crump right now. You can see where Ed's catching him, which seems to be on the corners with a high curb on it. Crump makes an off-track. Has he passed him? Ed takes P3. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's keep a real close eye on this to see if Ed can actually keep a hold of this. What an absolute move there. And once they're on the street, we'll have a little look at it again from the external camera mode. They're on the street now. Let's have a little look at that. Crump does go off track. He makes that mistake that Ed's been trying to get him to make the whole race. So Ed's persistence so far has taken off, and Crump's dropped down into P4 because of Ed's persistence. We'll keep a close eye on these as we come to the closing 5 minutes of the race. Change cameras. Crump is keeping close to him. Really is keeping close to him. It is the most exciting battle right now as we're coming to the closing laps, guys. So please stay tuned. I never expected it either, but let's be honest here. Ed's persistence on Crump has been pretty strong. He has kept up with him. He has dropped back and he has caught back up and poked his nose in where it wasn't expected at times. And it's put Crump in the position of 4th right now. Gonzalez is only 1 second. Sorry, 1 minute 31 behind the leaders. So he's not too far behind Crump at all, but a little bit too far to catch him before the end of the race, unless Crump makes a big mistake here, trying to push to catch Ed again before the end of the race. As we go into the last 4 minutes here at Imola. Ed just overcompensating for that corner a little bit. It just gives you perspectives here of the distance and how much. Oh, and Crump just goes off track there, trying to catch Ed again. What an absolute stunning track here in the dark as well. I genuinely can't believe that this isn't used more often in the official series in the dark. What a stunning track it is. Rock, you are correct. They have been on each other's tail. I can't wait to get them all on the interview room. Please stay tuned for that, guys. The interviews will commence as soon as the race finishes, and we do have a look at the stats and the finishing positions. Keith Farron has passed Ander Gomez for P14, by the way, and Sebastian Boscher-Wilson has passed Robert Taylor. Wait a minute here. The leader has changed. Let's have a look. Robert Taylor had a smash. Robert Taylor went off track. Let's have a look at that. Wait a minute here. Let's have another look at that. From further back. He goes out wide there. as we're having a look at what exactly happened there. Number 12 goes out wide and touches the grass, loses it. And it's a little, to be honest, guys, that is a little bit of netcode there. It's a little bit of netcode. I know that before I even check it from the far chase view. Car number 12. Where is car number 12? Right, guys, just to double check and show you, that was a little bit of netcode there. He's on the marbles, so the grip isn't great anyway. And it's a big bit of netcode there. Really unfortunate there for the race leader. Really, really unfortunate. Yeah, that was really, really unfortunate. Sebastian Williams takes the lead, takes the win. Kuskis in P2. Crump in P3. Taylor in P4. Not quite finished the race yet. Huge disappointment there. And we will have a look at that again. Guys, absolutely outstanding race. Really outstanding. Robert Taylor still falling back in a position spot. It was really unfortunate there for him. Played an absolute blinder of an event and a race. He really should have had the victory there. A little bit of netcode, a little bit of driver error from the guy that was being lapped. However, let's be honest here, it is up to the faster car to pass the driver in front safely. And yeah, it just depends on when you pick your spot. I'm not saying that Robert did decide to pass him at the wrong spot. Probably looked right and probably looked at the right time to take it. These things happen. It is racing. And that is the end of the race. Yeah, guys, absolutely outstanding race there tonight. Anyone that wants to have an interview, jump into the interview room on Discord. Preferably, sorry, not preferably, but especially the top 5. And anyone else as well. Gregory, Paul Kerry, Gibson, everyone. In fact, if you all want to drop in, feel free to do so. I'll be going through the interviews just directly. So the guys are currently coming in. As we have a look at the results here, Sebastian Boscher-Williams takes a P1 with 51 points, followed closely by Ed, who was quite a distance behind the leaders, to be fair, and takes P2. Thomas Crump takes P3. Robert Taylor, in his first race on the GT3 Endurance Championship, takes P4. Gonzalez takes P5. Gregory Hove on P6. Paul Kerry in P7. Matt Gibson on P8. Mika Hakala on P9. Robert Odoms in P10. Danny Perito P11. Joe Fierro in P12. Jonathan Rex in P13. Keith Farr in P14. Ander Gomez in P15. P16 is Dobarts. And 17 is Carol Gray. And I am not there. 2 pullouts, Alex Radar and Gary Brown. However, guys, there is a few folk here right now in the interview room, which I will switch to in about 2 seconds. So, first of all, we do want to speak to who we got here. We've got Sebastian Boschart, we've got Robert Taylor, we've got Paul Kerry, and we've got Ed. So, who's the lowest down first? Robert Taylor, Sebastian Boschart, he's P1. Paul Kerry, I think we'll take Paul Kerry first. Good evening, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Enjoyed that. A bit hot here, like.
It's a bit hot on track as well. What an absolute outstanding race from you as well. Is that one of your best results so far this season?
Without checking, I think it probably is, yeah. I mean, I tried my best to ruin it, as you might have seen.
Yeah, you did have a few moments. One of the things I wanted to ask you as well is how did you prepare for this race? Did you practice in the dark more than daylight, or?
Well, I just set it up the same way as you do and do a race distance.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what to say to that, to be honest. Yeah, fair enough. So, how did you find the race tonight? Was it what you expected it, or was it a little bit tougher, or?
Well, there seems to be a bit of a pattern developing where I qualify reasonably well and then kind of slide backwards a little bit on the first stint. I'll have to have a bit of practice of that, but all in all, it was all right. I mean, I got to the end and I'm quite happy. Didn't get hit, didn't hit anyone. Can't really ask for anything else.
Exactly, mate. So, did you have a strategy in mind when you joined here? Did you start with any less fuel than anyone else, or what was your thinking going into this race tonight, Paul?
Go as long as possible, essentially.
Right. So you started with full fuel and just went for it.
That's it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Fill it up and see how far you get. It normally gets to about 61 minutes.
Yeah.
And so then you can get a quick pit stop, and unfortunately wasn't quite able to jump the likes of Gregory, and there was another guy ahead of us, Spanish lad. I can't remember his name now.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, I couldn't quite jump them in the.
I'll tell you something though, man. There were some really good early battles there on the mid pack. Some really good overtakes and really clean racing here tonight as well. Again, is something I don't know if you can remember the first race. Like the first race was like I wouldn't say it was chaos because it wasn't. It was clean, but there were a lot of people kind of putting in silly disputes and stuff that really shouldn't have been disputed, and you know it was general racing matters and stuff like that. Coming from there to here now, where we are now in round 5, we're not even halfway through the season yet. How do you find, because you've been here from the beginning, how do you find how much a difference it is on the driving abilities and knowing the drivers around you now?
I think that makes a big difference in any championship. You have to know who's likely to make a lunge and who's quite clean and safe. You have to know the characters around you, really, and once you do that, everyone, I think that the standard just gets better.
Yeah, I've noticed that personally myself as a viewer, the same as everyone else here in Twitch and everyone watching back here on YouTube as well. The standard of racing is going severely high now. It's going to the stage now where, like, I was on my edge of the seat before, but now I'm biting my steering wheel that's sitting right in front of me at times during the race. So it's you guys to thank for that. And again, Paul, thanks very much for spending as much time as you do practicing for this championship, because I know you do spend a lot of time practicing, and it's paying off from your results early on in the season to what you're starting to get now.
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, that's the plan, and thank you for putting it on. That's all I can say.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much for your time, and have a good evening.
Take it easy, man.
You too. Okay, guys, we'll have a look at who else we have here. We have we'll talk to Robert Taylor next. Are you there, Robert?
I'm here, yes. Good evening.
2 seconds. I'm just changing the name on the stream. I wish it would do it automatically, but it doesn't. How did you find that race tonight, Robert?
Fast. I went into tonight with a game plan of just run the car to a number and see what happens.
A new follower.
And
We
then
just become best friends.
Sebastian rocks up, and it was pretty much an hour and a half of qualifying.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
credit
noticed
to him,
that.
he turned that car on so fast. It takes my car 3 laps to get up to speed, and it took me about 15 minutes to get down from qualifying. So he turned that car on from the moment the green lights went, and I just had nothing for him at the beginning. So it kind of switched into stick with him, keep the gap somewhere around the 2 seconds, keep the pressure on, and hope either for a mistake or maybe jump him into pit lane, just work the way through. But amazing race. Obviously, didn't quite end the way I would have liked. Bit unlucky there, it seems, with Netco with a back marker looking back at it, which is unfortunate. But amazing race. Well done to Sebastian. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to watch the battle between both of you. There wasn't much of a battle, I've got to say, to start with, but as the race went on, as we get closer to halfway through the race, you certainly did catch him. I'm not sure whether Sebastian dropped a little bit of time off due to catching back markers and stuff like that, but at some one point in the race, it was so close between you two. It was literally bumper to bumper.
Yeah, we were trading lap time, so the gap got to about 2 seconds, and that was kind of the furthest it ever got.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter which one of us was in front of the other. For the first half, Sebastian was leading, and I was 2 seconds behind. Sometimes he'd make a little mistake, and the gap would come down. Then I'd make one, and it would go back up again. And it was like that all the way through for the first half. And then we caught a back marker going, it was about middle of the race, going through the midsection, which is quite a tricky section anyway. Sebastian had got past quite late, and I was caught behind. There was no way the guy could let me through at those 2 corners at the bottom of the hill. So I figured I was going to be sitting there to the exit and was going to lose a bit of time.
Yeah.
But I think Sebastian must have locked a brake because of being slightly offline or something, and he just went a bit deep into the bottom corner, which allowed me to get through. And once I got the lead there, and I kind of switched back to the, okay, drive a number, hit the marks, and just let Sebastian kind of do the work, if you like.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so sketchy at the pit stop. I almost got done for speeding. I think their radar gun might be a little bit broken because I was definitely doing more than the speed limit when I crossed that line, trying to get the speed down, because the race was so tight, like you say, that any fraction of a second in the pit lane lost or gained was probably going to make the difference.
Well, it's funny as you say that, because as you entered the pit, I'm sure you pitted earlier than Boscher, is that correct? Yeah, Sebastian?
2 laps earlier,
Yeah. And I thought, is this a strategy that Robert has against Sebastian here? Was that something you had in your mind, pit a little bit earlier?
I wanted to be the first in, because if you come in and on the exit, the 2 cars that are battling are close, the guy that's already been on track for a lap, that has got his eye back in and he's back in that rhythm, will usually have a bit of an edge over someone who's getting back up to speed out the pit. So I wanted to be the car that was first in, but I was watching the track map keenly so as to know when I could pit and not come out in traffic. So as soon as that window was there to fall into clear air, I wanted to get that undercut so that I was nice and calm. If we came out the pits closely, hopefully that would give the edge to try and edge him out.
Yeah, well, what I did notice is by doing your pit stop, I think you actually gained a few tenths of a second a lead on Sebastian by doing that. So I felt like if that was a really clever move on you, and it's one of the first times we've actually ever seen it in this championship, someone taking a move to pit early to come out and clear traffic to try and gain that extra few tenths, and it actually worked for you at one point, and obviously until you had your little mishap closer to the end, and it was really unfortunate.
Yeah, 2 laps from the end.
Yeah,
I thought
I was gutted for you. I really was. I was sitting here like, oh my God, man, I can't believe that's just happened. And
At the
watching it back,
time-
we watched it really closely. I think we watched it about 3 or 4 times, and like we went on to follow cam just to double check. There wasn't really much else the driver in front could have done, like to try and
Yeah.
stay out your way. I mean, he hit the grass and he just lost it.
To be fair, even though he lost it, I mean, at the time, it's a good job the mics weren't live because
Yeah, obviously.
there was lots of blue heated language coming out.
Yeah.
But watching it back, even on my replay, yes, he catches the grass and it spits him over a bit, but it's just one of those netcode things. There's actually about a foot gap between the two
Yeah.
cars.
It's really
He
unfortunate.
couldn't help it. It was just really, really bad luck, and it's one
Yeah.
of those things you just got to take. You know, there's no point in getting upset about it. We had a good first showing for my first race with you guys. Really
100%.
enjoyed
I
it.
can't wait to see you race again.
And yeah, I just can't wait to get back out there. And again, congratulations to Sebastian for really keeping it good. Neither of us could relax in that race. I'm guessing he's going to say the same. Excuse me. It was just relentless, the pace. There was no sit back and be safe. It was qualifying for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was. And like I'm sitting here just now and my hairs are standing on edge thinking about some of the battles you guys had. So yeah, again, thanks very much, Robert, and thanks very much for taking part in the Turn 7 Racing GT Endurance Championship, and welcome aboard, and I hope to see you in plenty more as well as just this one. We have got loads planned. So again, thank you very much, mate, and
Thank you very much for hosting.
see you soon.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we'll now go and speak to P3 and Thomas Crump.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Thomas, how are you doing?
Doing well. A little tired, but
No
that's the way it
wonder,
goes.
man.
Yeah.
You played a blinder of a race there as well, man. Honestly, like, yous guys battled really, really, really hard.
Yeah, when I was in clean air, without much of anyone behind me towards the end of the first stint and the beginning of the second stint, and Ed wasn't breathing down my neck like he was for the entire rest of the race, I was pretty happy with how things were going. I was pretty consistent, and then Ed would just slowly creep up behind me, and he'd be within about a second behind me for a lot of that race, and I was just like, man, I wasn't having a great time. I was making little mistakes left and right, going, oh God, what am I doing? But yeah, it was really close. Starting even lap 1, it was close.
Yeah, I mean, for a good, what, it must have been cutting on 15, 20 minutes. You guys were like, sometimes I just have the spectator mode on the most exciting. And for a good 15, 20 minutes solid, yourself and Ed were on that.
Yeah.
And it was back and forth. Ed was catching you. But it looked like I can't wait to actually speak to Ed, because I think Ed was playing a strategic game with you as well, although he did make a mistake and fell back quite a bit. But I think Ed was actually playing you a little. Did you feel like that?
I could see it. If that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised at all, to be honest. Because I noticed that he was definitely, no question, faster than I was. But he never really made any big moves. Just kind of waiting for me to make a big enough mistake, and he only came up side by side 2 or 3 times when I did make a big enough mistake and backed out of it a little earlier than I expected. So yeah, I think he was playing the cautious game, and that's the smart move. Lap 1, I was probably being a little more aggressive than I should have been, going side by side. So he's the smarter racer today, I think.
No, however, don't get me wrong. Your racing strategy, Thomas, and the way that you performed tonight was second to none. Don't take that away from yourself. That's not what I mean by any means, because the way that you raced and like watching your lines and everything that you were doing was almost spot on. Like the BMW on here tonight just looked really fast. However, the Ferrari seems to have that edge on those high kibs in the last chicane. And that's where Ed seemed to catch you the most. Like when we were watching, anyway, he would catch you almost. It was almost half a second he would catch you there.
Mm-hmm. That I noticed that as well, especially after he got by me towards the end of the race. Down the front straight, we'd be about neck and neck. Through sector 1 about through the hairpin or so, I'd be maybe a tenth or two quicker. And then when we hit the chicane, he'd get tenths, multiple tenths every single time. And I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong? What is going on?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that you were doing wrong. It's more that the Ferrari is really, really strong going over curbs. It doesn't seem to bounce to the right or bounce to the left. It seems to handle them really, really, really well. Whereas, like, I know from my experience on racing and iRacing, the Porsche is terrible over curbs. You just avoid them full stop.
Mm-hmm.
The BMW can take them, but it doesn't take them too well. But you can manage them. And then you've got the Ferrari just eats them. Any track at all with curbs. And we found out that actually last week as well on last week's race where the last turn was a chicane with curbs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Ferrari were eating up every other car and they were catching the pace. And like again, this time around where the curbs were, but it wasn't quite the last turn. It was the third last turn, and that's where it really made the difference for the Ferraris tonight. I felt anyway.
Come to think of it, I can definitely recognize that every time I clipped a sausage curve on the inside, it just about flipped my car over and wasn't very happy.
Watching it sometimes was quite dodgy. I thought a few times it was like that car's going to go on its side and it doesn't. So, but that's the way racing goes. Anyway, did you have a strategy going in tonight, or was it just go in, go hell for leather, and let loose and see what happens and hope for the best?
Start with a full tank of fuel and see where I end up after an hour, and put some more fuel in there and kind of guess the number because I don't have a fuel calculator because I'm not prepared, and see where I end up. That was the strategy.
Yeah, well,
but
you've been here for quite a while. Am I right in saying that, Thomas?
I missed the first race, but I've been to every one since. So.
Yeah, well, previously in races, we actually had I don't know if you remember, we had a strategic amount of fuel allowed in the vehicles.
Yep.
But now it's 100%. Which do you prefer?
If I had a fuel calculator, I'd say where we are currently, but because I'm lazy and don't set one up, I'd still say regardless, I like the open fuel a bit more because the one race I did where we did have restricted fuel tanks, Monza, it was I think at 80 or 85%, and it was put in the middle of the race, full tank of fuel both stints, but I had to do an absolutely obscene amount of fuel saving in the second stint, and it was not terribly exciting because I was just kind of puttering around, especially the last 15 minutes. And I remember Ben Cullen was also in that race, and I was in my head just mainly focusing on racing the other BMWs, and I think he was the only other BMW that did a two-stop strategy, and I handily beat him by 10, 15 seconds. So I think the tighter fuel tanks are interesting in theory, but in practice, at least at Monza, because that's the only race I did with those tanks, it didn't really play out. Yeah,
that's fair enough. It's good to get that feedback, especially live on the interview as well. Anyway, Thomas, thanks very much for partaking in tonight, and congratulations on your P3 podium finish. And can't wait to see you race again.
Yep. Thank you so much for hosting. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, no problem, man. Catch you soon, Barat.
Yep. See you.
And now we speak to our P2, Mr. Ed.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Ed.
I'm in the puddle of my own
is
sweat.
That the word? Is that the opening word?
Oh, this was intense.
I'm getting used to speaking to you, actually.
Yeah, I always seem to find myself in these battles.
Yeah.
Feature a lot on the streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing race. Started out, others seemed to be more confident on the cold tires. Dropped back, and then just battled from that point onwards every single lap.
First question that I need to ask you, and I'm quite sure everyone on the stream as well is wanting to know. Your battle with Thomas, was you poking your nose deliberately, or was you actually want to pass? Was you just testing? Was you trying to force a mistake, or was your intention to pass when you were poking your nose because you'd done it a lot?
I was trying to force a mistake because Thomas was fast in all the right parts of the track. I think I had the pace at the beginning, like the first 10 laps, but I'm fast in all the wrong places where you can't overtake.
Yes.
And I was just stuck behind him. And so, and on the straights, like out of the very last corner for the main straight, he just got such a good run out of there. I just couldn't match it.
I genuinely hope you watch this back, because the battle that you had with P3 Thomas was one of the most beautiful battles I've ever seen in my life. It was the guys were commenting saying how clean it was, how good it was, how on edge it was. Everything was there. It was beautiful to watch. And like, one of the things that I want to say to you is well done for that. One, and two, I knew what strategy you had in your head as soon as I seen you do it. I knew, because I've watched you so many times now. And I was like, Ed's meaning this. He's poking his nose in there. He's trying to force a mistake with Thomas. He's trying to put Thomas under pressure. And eventually, you made the mistake.
Yeah.
And it was
I
quite
thought I was going
hard
to
to
rear end him,
take.
actually.
It was like an episode of EastEnders. It didn't end quite the way you expected it to end. But
No,
then
not at all.
there were this big hero comeback. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch. Can you talk us through it?
I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I definitely did. I just didn't have the pace in the right parts of the track to overtake him, so I had to try and force a mistake. And somebody was going to crack, and it turned out to be me. Just coming down the hill, I misjudged how early he was going to brake, and I thought, I'm going to hit him, so I just stamped on the brakes and ended up blocking the rears and spinning around. And then after that, turns out I didn't actually have the pace. Thomas just was like 3-4 tenths quicker every single lap, and I thought, well, that's done. And then after the pit stop, I seemed to have the pace again, and it closed right up, and he did make a mistake in the end, so it turned out well for me. But it came right down to the wire.
Excellent, man. As I say, it was absolutely, it was outstanding to watch, and it was outstanding to be part of. Like, I mean, the people obviously watching on Twitch as well thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it tomorrow just to see it from a different perspective.
As I say, it does get uploaded onto YouTube as well, so it's there permanently. When anyone ever wants to watch it, it's obviously produced into the Discord as well. But however, again, mate, I genuinely cannot congratulate you enough on that race. You just raced an outstanding race right from the start.
Thank you for organising this.
Yeah,
it's all
no worries, man. It's really competitive. I've got to admit that.
Yeah,
all the way through the field. It's not just you guys up front. Like, I'd really like some of the guys that are lower down to jump into the interview as well, to speak to them. But for some reason, they never actually come in. Like, but again, like, there's some really good battles down there, like between Hakala and Odoms and Prito and Ferrero and Farron and Gomez. Like, they really have some really good battles, and never ever, like Paul Kerry as well, Matt Gibson, Hakala, like, they had some really good battles throughout this race, but they just, I don't know, I don't know if they don't feel like they should be in here, but they should. Like, every single one of you guys that are racing tonight should be in this interview room, because it was outstanding from lap 1 to lap 54. It was a beautiful race all the way
every
through.
Time I came across some back markers, they were always in groups, so they were racing each other.
Yeah, exactly. It was good to see. Anyway, again, Ed, thank you very much for taking part. I can't wait to see you on the next race. We're now going live and an interview with the race winner, Sebastian Boschert Williams.
Oh, what a race! I enjoyed that one.
I bet you did.
Firstly, condolences to Robert. That was his race. He was quicker than me for that race. So yeah, I feel bad for him because he deserved that one more.
Yeah, as you say that though, right very early on in the race, you were quicker by quite a bit. It was like almost half a second each lap at the start.
Yeah, the first 2 laps I managed to get ahead. I don't know if you saw the move. We were going side by side, I think, until the chicane on the first lap. That was a lot of fun. But I managed to find my tyres up better. But then I started to see him sort of gain by like a tenth a lap, and I sort of got into my own head and started to sort of, like you start forcing mistakes, and he put so much pressure on me. I cannot believe I didn't crash. He did amazing.
One of the things he did say to me personally was he felt like if it was a qualifying battle almost
Yeah.
the whole race.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I was sort of every lap adjusting my brake bias. I was braking later than I did the lap before, and he was just catching me every lap. I've never pushed that much in a race. I had so much fun.
That's amazing to hear. I mean, because see, at the end of the day, right, like one of the things that I've noticed is between Ferraris, Porsches, BMWs, is Ferraris have got one of the edges for being able to take the cabs a little bit better than the Porsches. But
Mhm.
Robert seemed to handle that pretty well. He did lose you a little on that last chicane before the second to last turn, but he
Yeah,
always gained you on the straight.
yeah,
And it was quite weird to watch. It was almost like he knew where he would lose time, but he also knew where he would gain time.
yeah,
And it was, as I say, like Robert said as well, it was like a battle for pole position. Because again, even in qualifying, the battle between you two for pole position was like a race.
yeah.
To be honest, it was unreal.
It was. I mean, I got into the pits and I spoke to Ed because we were in the same voice chat, and I go, I'm done. Like, I cannot do a faster lap. And I said, I don't even have time to go out. And then just Robert comes across the line with was it like a 39.2? Crazy quick. You go, oh,
I
this is
couldn't
going to be a
believe
long
it
race.
as well. I was sitting here, I was like, how the hell did he just do that?
I know. Oh,
Do
insane.
you know what I mean? And then obviously the start of the race happened, and then things happened, and then you got in front, and then you got a good lead on him to start with. I think
Yeah.
at one point it was almost 2 seconds.
I got it to about 2 seconds, and then I started to make a few mistakes. I think I locked up a few times, and then I started to get traffic, started to get a little bit. So I just started to make more mistakes, got tired, and yeah. And then I made my big mistake at sort of the bottom bit of the corner. There was a lapped car that I was trying to get by. He let me go, but I tried to sort of go to the outside to take the racing line, and I just locked the fronts. So
Yeah.
that was
Well,
unfortunate.
just FYI, he's currently writing in the live chat right now on Twitch that he had an extra lap of fuel to get the tyre temperatures up, and that's how he managed it.
Ooh, damn! I was struggling for tyre temps. Mine were overheating by the end of the lap. I
So
think the
there you go.
Porsche was a better car this weekend, I think.
Well, yeah, you could say that. However, the Ferraris really were strong on their curbs.
Very true.
I mean,
actually,
any track with a high curb, a Ferrari will eat any other car up.
I got damage on the curbs
Did you?
for the final 10 minutes. Yeah, I took
Was you crossing the curb though, or was you hitting it with your tyres, or was you going a little bit further?
I think a bit further. I couldn't see at night. Turned in, and all of a sudden there was just I couldn't see out my screen.
Yeah,
It
he's,
was a
again,
big
he's
bit of damage.
sitting here saying the Ferrari in the last sector was untouchable, which is true. And
Yeah.
Imola, if you're behind a Ferrari and you're chasing for P1, I know that's in the official series as well. Sitting in P2, P1 is a Ferrari. On that last sector, you're not going to catch them. If
No.
after the last sector and after a long start-finish straight, you might catch them a little, because if you can remember, turn 1 and turn 2 have got they've got the sausages on the inside of each corner, so no car can really hit them. If they hit them, they're off.
Yeah.
I don't know a car yet that can actually go over them safely, or a setup.
No.
I've never drove a setup or a car that will be able to hit them safely and actually continue driving without damage. However, like when you go into turn 4, it's a slight kink to the left, and then you go into turn 5, which is a slightly more sharper. Then you've got the turn 6 to the right, and then you've got the hairpin to the left. That's where the Porsche, the BMW, even a Ford will catch a Ferrari. But after that point, that's when the Ferrari is just it's gone. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, no, Robert was catching me. I'd start the lap with like a 2-second gap, and then by the time that I got past the hairpin, he was like 1.4, 1.3.
Yeah,
And then you start to worry, and then you sort of catch him, or then you gap him in the final sector.
yeah, I'm actually just trying to look back in the replays here and try and find that point where you actually where you actually passed each other. Just have a quick look back on it. Just bear with me while I do this. It wasn't that far back. Why is it not showing up? It was in the last dying laps, and I'm away halfway through the race, and it's not showing up.
What, where I...
Oh, there it's there. Right,
Okay.
2 seconds. Right, guys, we're going to show this again where Sebastian actually took the win and took the lead over Robert. So as we look back here, we'll have a little look at what actually happened.
Is this Robert's spin then?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
look, I mean, see if you actually watch that. If you just give me 2 seconds, I'll jump into follow cam and we'll actually show you what actually happened. Far chase. Who are we with? We should be with Robert. And if we just rewind slightly, I mean, Robert's in P1 here, as you can see.
Yeah.
And if you watch just what happens here, it is really unfortunate. I'll just slow it down here. This is where it happens.
I remember looking at Robert going, I hope that back marker slows him down a bit, because I'd caught him by like a second the last lap, and I was like, if he slows him down, I might get him into the first corner.
Yeah.
And then I saw the back marker go wide and go, damn it, he's got past, and then, oh, that's some netcode.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
a
unlucky.
netcode at the biggest form that you can get it.
I haven't seen netcode that bad in quite some time. That's so unlucky. And I sort of went past going, I'm happy, but I'm really sad because that was such a good battle, and yeah, as I said, Robert deserved that win today.
Yeah, and we'll just watch it for your point of view when you come to that as well. In fact, we'll jump inside with you.
You might actually be able to see the damage that I had on the front.
Yeah, you had quite a bit of damage in the front left-hand side there. You can see the kink.
Yeah, I picked it up and just went, uh-oh.
So in your eyes right now, what is going through your head as we're looking at this?
I think at this point, he's gone wide. Oh, okay. And then I'm watching the BMW because I'm pretty sure that he was going to come across.
Yeah.
So I think I was sort of like half on throttle, and then you're like, oh, I'm leading now.
Yeah.
Am I happy about that? Am I sad about that?
Yeah, you're not really sure what to think, really, are you?
No. And then like immediately, right, let's just get to the end now. I've still got another lap to go.
Yeah.
But no, that was...
And we will just actually stay with you and watch you finish this race now, because it was an absolute stunning finish. and a really good race. Just talk us through your last lap as we go through it.
Scared, I think would be the word. I knew that I had Ed behind, and I just felt I was getting more fatigued as each lap went on. I mean, we did the Nordschleife race at 8 a.m. this morning, me and Ed, so we're tired. So it was just about just making sure that I didn't mess up. I put the brake bias a lot more forwards, a lot more forward, so I wouldn't spin. And it was just conserve the car, get to the end.
See, I tend to do that as well when I'm racing. Like if I feel like I just can't be asked controlling the car, I put a few, at least 3 or 4 clicks to the front.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do it. I just do it, and it feels better. I think the car feels better if it's braking more in the front than it does in the rear.
The rear is quicker, but you have to really be wanting to make it go quicker. Is what I found. I mean, my fronts were dead by the end. I just kept on locking up into the second last corner. Just every lap, just consistent losing like 9, 10.
As we're watching you go around there, like turn 1 and turn 2 there with the sausages. You hit the sausages on the inside in turn 2, but you were okay.
Yeah, you can just about hit them, but it upsets the car, and you always have to apply a little bit of canister. It's not the quickest way to do it, but it's the way that I've done it. I have quite poor lines, to be honest. I'm not very good with the whole racing line thing. I tend to hit curbs a lot more than I should.
To be honest, near a mass, so don't worry about it.
And then I think I had a moment through here. I got like 2 off tracks on my final lap, but we don't need to talk about it.
See, to be honest with you though, considering you done the Nordschleife this morning and then this tonight, then I reckon you winning this race tonight is a credit to you as well though. Absolutely outstanding race, mate, genuinely. I mean, look at you eating these cabs. I mean, those aren't there to a Ferrari. It's just like a corner. Like, you can genuinely jump over them without disturbing the car.
You could have done it more as well. Like, there was one lap that I thought I outbraked myself. I locked up the inside front, and yet I know I was carrying sort of 10 k's more than I usually do, and yet I still managed to make it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. And then like every lap after that, I was just gaining more.
And there we go with the celebrity.
I was actually
lights.
asking my teammates in the chat, do I celebrate? Or do I just sort of like go across the line, sort of as? Yeah. So yeah, that was a really good race.
Absolutely outstanding race, and again, congratulations on the win. This is your first race, is that right?
It is, yes.
Yes, because you joined after the last race, is that right? After watching it on the stream?
Yes. Well, in the Backmarker Racing Discord, Ed's been talking about this, and then every race it seems like another person joins up. Yeah. And I thought it was my turn. It looked a lot of fun, and I'm very glad I did. Yes. And thank you very much for putting it on and commentating and doing all that you're doing, because it's a really amazing
Listen,
league.
mate, I'm not a commentator, and I don't claim to be, but I do try and narrate it properly, and I do try my best. I'm not a commentator. To believe it or not, I'm an ex-DJ, a radio DJ. That's it. Until now. So that's my history. But again, all I want to say is thanks to everyone that is taking part in this championship. I mean, season 1 was good, but it's not even a touch on this season. And what we are bringing, Turn 7 Racing's bringing upcoming is really, really good. We've got loads planned in the background. As I say, what we can reveal is we've got 3 championships starting at the start of next season on iRacing, and including a team event. So it'll be really exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens with that as well. So again, thanks to everybody that's watching. Thanks to you, Sebastian, for being part of it, and congratulations on an awesome race and an awesome win as well.
Thank you.
Well,
yeah.
Again, thanks.
Well, thank you for putting it on, and I know that if the team events are even half as good as this, then Backmarker Racing will be there, because this has just been so much fun. So thank you very much.
Excellent. I can't wait to see you. Thanks very much for taking your time here. And again, everyone on stream, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute outstanding race again tonight. we'll have a look at the championship results so far. If we can hide the other part. And as it stands, 159 points. Ed Kutskis up there in the top position. David Haas is no longer with us, but he's sitting there in P2. And if I can, I will update it. It should be able to do. You just bear with me. I'm going to try and do it right now. Right. Who got P1 again? I need to check the name. Nope, that's wrong. Right, so we can't update it for the next one. We'll need to wait, and I'll need to update it manually. But yes, guys, that was before this race. Wait a minute. Just bear with me. Yes, it is correct. So, this is the championship as it stands right now, according to this. We hope it's right. I don't know if that changed or not. I hope it did. No, it didn't. Did it? Yes, it did. I'll fix it, guys. It's a really temperamental fucking thing, to be honest with you. It's actually quite annoying. Every single week I have to input this manually, and it's starting to annoy me. So again, guys, as I say, it's software based. It's not me. I've inputted the points. I've inputted the right everything, and it just doesn't seem to be updating properly. So we'll send the data. Yeah, it's still saying the same thing. But Keith's up 4 places according to this, so happy days. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong, mate. I know it's wrong. So anyway, I do have to do it manually. Let's forget about that. So let's have a look at the points the way they should be looking at. And that was before. That's wrong as well. Let's just fucking hide it, man. What a pile of shite that is. It doesn't work. It's supposed to work and it doesn't, so hey ho. It is software based. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to leave you watching the very last lap of Sebastian's race once again, just to see him winning the race, and then we will end the stream right there, right at the very end. I might come live again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's look at it from his point of view and enjoy. Again, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Again, it's much appreciated. This is Turn 7 Racing GT3 Endurance Championship of Round 5 at Imola. Live on Twitch TV/Turn 7 Racing, signing out for tonight. Stay where you are though. Don't move. We are going to look for someone that we can go and raid or host. So stay where you are, guys, while we do that. Let's go to my good buddy, Mr. W Step.
You want to go back out into the cold more than ever. The past is written, but we are left to write the future.
It's iRacing, not iDriving.